All right, talking here with Marcus and Spencer in 3, 2, and 1. We're back here on Tri-State Sports Talk on AM 730 KWOA. It's been a while, but we wanted to catch up with a couple of Worthington Trojan senior boys basketball players. So talking here today with Marcus Potter and Spencer Grafing. Gentlemen, how are we doing, guys?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Good. Well, we wanted to get Marcus and Spencer in here today talking about, their fantastic careers with the Trojans, both honored as all Southwest Conference performers here in your senior seasons. Guys, let's learn a little bit more about you first. Let's start with Marcus. Marcus, tell us a bit about yourself and your family.
Well, I've lived in Worthington for my whole life, and I guess I couldn't wait the time to play on varsity, and I guess it's all over now. I don't know, it's hard to believe, but it's taught me to just never take anything for granted.
Who are your parents?
Mike and Susie Potter.
And do you have brothers and sisters?
A lot of them, actually. I have 4 sisters and 3 brothers. So do I need to name all those? Or?
Well, if you want to. I mean,
Okay,
hey, we
well,
might want to give them a shout-out. Otherwise, they'll be like, hey, why don't you talk about me?
All right, shout out to my brothers Philippe, LaChuan, and Miguel, and also the lovely ladies with Lakita, Sade, Deja, and Helki.
I just don't want you to get in trouble, man. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to get you in trouble. Spencer, how about you?
I have my parents, Mark and Lori. I have a big family also, 3 sisters and 2 brothers. I'll shout them out too. My brother Michael and Aaron, my sisters Angie, Kate, and Anna. And the same as Marcus. I just learned not to take anything for granted either with the senior year because it really flew by.
Well, let's kind of talk about your careers then, as obviously you've gone through, you guys have been playing basketball since, how young? I've seen the pictures of you guys playing together as a group of seniors. You guys have been playing basketball since, when did it start?
Well, traveling basketball started in 4th grade, and that's when we really all got together, started going to tournaments and stuff.
Now, what's that like? You got a chance to kind of play with a group of guys throughout the years. I'd imagine it's kind of cool from the sense that, not only do you know each other well personally, but I think there's also a chemistry when you play with a group of guys like that for a long time where you don't even have to think about where a guy's going to be. Spencer, that's got to be advantageous when you step on the court.
Yeah, I know when I'm just playing with Marcus, if he's driving to the hoop and he doesn't have anything, usually he knows exactly where I'm going to be and he can find me on the wing. And just growing up, that's really what separated us from other teams was how good our chemistry was. And, a lot of teams had trouble matching that.
And obviously for you, too, you got a chance to come up as sophomores and be a part of that state tournament team. Marcus, what was that experience like? And I know just seeing your guys' reaction is something I'll never forget is when you guys won that section championship. And what was it like getting a hold of that trophy? It
was a great experience because Redwood beat us twice during the season, and we beat them the 3rd time. But the whole experience just made me want to go to state even more when I had a bigger role on the team, which was senior year, obviously. But I don't know, it was a fun experience.
Spencer, how was it stepping on the state tournament floor?
It was really just a great feeling, just being on the court out there at the Target Center. Because as a kid, I had seen some state teams, and I'd always dreamed about getting the chance to be there also. And just being there was crazy. Well,
that's every kid's dream. To be on that state tournament floor, I'd have to imagine, was a little surreal, Spence, when you walked on the court and you're just kind of you're playing it cool, but I'm sure inside you're just like, holy cow.
Yeah, and especially because we were going up against last year's state champs, Perham, and it was a really close game. It was really intense, and it was just a great atmosphere.
It was. That's just a shame that there's no consolation anymore, but I'll leave that rant for another show because we'll end up talking forever. Well, let's transition then here into your junior season. As expected, then you guys were stepping up to take a bigger role. Guys like John Vorwald and Morgan Traylor stepping in as well, and then a very solid season. You guys go into the tournament and trying to make that run, get back to state, and you get to that game with Martin County West and. Just that first half, I'm sure, was one you'd like to wipe off the books. And
sure.
Marcus, do you remember kind of what was Coach V? What was the mood like at halftime? Because you guys are down, I think, about 12 or so at halftime. What was the mood like in the locker room?
Well, at first we were all kind of down on ourselves, but Warwald came in and said he just acted like everything was okay. We were still in this game. I looked at Morgan, Josh, Johnny, all the seniors. I'm just like, this can't be the last time I play with all these guys. So we just fought hard and we were right back in it.
Spencer, at second half, I think was important because you guys did come out, and I thought the energy you guys brought out of the locker room in that game, in that second half, you guys, when you got that big deficit sometimes, you guys talk about, you always hear in basketball working your way back in. You guys did it like in no time because you really came out with a lot of energy in the locker room. And was there a certain point in that second half where you felt like, okay, we're back in it?
Yeah, we just knew we had to play with a sense of urgency. We knew that we shouldn't be down in that game because we'd beat them earlier that season. We were the higher seed, and we just really knew that we didn't want our season to end. So we played hard, and we got back into it, obviously.
Then, obviously, the the mad craziness of the last 12 seconds. They have the basketball, and and as a broadcaster, sometimes I get caught into roles of like, I'm always trying to think ahead. So I'm like, okay, they got the ball. They're going to hold for the last shot. Can we stop and get, and take it into overtime? And all of a sudden they throw it away, and then mass chaos happens. Morgan's trying to push it up the court, and Johnny's got it at the top of the key, and I'm just thinking he's got to shoot.
Yep.
And then you're wide open. Marcus is wide open in the left wing, and he throws it to you. And I remember thinking in my head, like, no chance. You have no chance to get this shot up in time, and you drain the three. Man, Marcus, what was going through your brain?
Well, when we started off on defense, everyone's mindset was just to get it to overtime, to get a stop. And all of a sudden we have the ball. I see Morgan dribbling. I thought he actually was going to go over and back because he stopped. And then he threw it to Will Mulder. And then Johnny got it. I was thinking in my head, you have to shoot too. Like, there was only 2 seconds maybe. And fired it to me. I saw defense coming at me, so I had to put down my hands right away. And it looked in the whole time.
I would imagine that's an experience you're never going to forget in your life.
It was probably one of the most memorable for sure.
You probably thought you could probably run 6 miles or go jump on. I've never had a buzzer beater in my life. I played basketball a long time, never had a buzzer beater. So just to kind of talk to somebody that experienced it, I mean, and then the great thing that made it a special moment too is not only obviously a big win in the playoffs and all that, but credit to the Trojan student body.
Yeah.
They really came out and forced that night. A lot of white shirts, and needless to say, there was a lot of white on the court then after that shot. So obviously, a very cool experience. And then kind of going that game against Fairmont. Your guys' junior season. That was a tough one too. You guys played really well in the first half, and it's kind of one of those things where you probably should have had that bigger lead. And Fairmont, to their credit, kind of made the plays. But coming into your senior season here, obviously, a new coach. There were some tough losses this season too that kind of just. You guys really had a record that didn't really reflect, I think, of what you guys could do. And then you showed that in the first round of the playoffs. You throw out those seedings, you throw out the rankings, they don't matter. You go up to Wilmer, a team that beat you in Worthington early in the season. But that was a close game throughout. And I think, were you guys feeling pretty good about this matchup going into that first round game, Spencer?
Yeah, we were close the first time we played them, and we felt like we matched up pretty well with them. And going into the game, we were just feeling really confident. We felt like we could maybe make a push for state. Things were going well for us towards the end of the season, and we went there planning on getting the W.
And I think the reason I kind of wanted to bring up the Fairmont game was I think that last year in that game, Fairmont was able to kind of weather your guys' run. And then going up to Wilmer this year, they're on their home court, and they got guys coming off the bench. They can't miss. I mean, it's just looking like everything's going their way. But you guys hung tough. You're able to kind of hang in it, make some plays. And, well, obviously, Spencer, I'm sure that basketball hoop must have looked like the Pacific Ocean. You were on fire that night and, hitting those big shots and getting back into it. What was it? How are you feeling once you got in the zone? What is that feeling like?
Well, usually it just takes one shot to go down for me to start feeling good and getting more confidence in my shot. In the first half, nothing was really falling for me, but, I knew we had to play with a sense of urgency in the second half. Just started shooting, and fortunately they were going in, so I just kept firing them up.
I know when you're feeling it because it's when you're coming off screens and you immediately just take that take that hop and you rise right up. You know, I mean, you got a great form, and just a magical night beating Wilmer in the section quarters. Semis, you take on Mankato West, and it's, you know, we talk about all the time basketball being a game of momentum. You guys had it early, and you know, they were just able to kind of take away a lot, I thought, of your guys' offense. Marcus, you were able to create a lot that night, and I thought you just played a fantastic game. And, you know, unfortunately, season comes to an end, but, for yourself, Marcus, I mean, that game will be one. You think you remember that one, not just because you were your last one, but, I mean, the way you guys did compete that night?
Well, I felt like that was our game the whole game. I mean, we were up by, like, over 10, I think. It was in the first half. And Spencer was hitting some shots early in the first half. I was hitting, so I thought it looked good. And then halftime came. I think we were up by 1. And Jake Dale had a pretty good game in the second half, and then we just fell apart. And
I think the strange thing about basketball is when you got two evenly matched teams, is I thought that matchup was, it sometimes comes down to just big shots, and that the Makala guard hit those big threes that just kind of swung. It got them going, because you guys, even though they had that run at the end of the first half, you outplayed them in that first half. You know, I mean, you had the momentum. But so again, I mean, we're bringing up a lot of memories here, and obviously you're going to have a lot of memories to look back on two fantastic careers. Marcus, what is one thing you're always going to remember from your career as a Trojan?
Well, I will definitely remember the state tournament my sophomore year. I mean, just because it was my first year and we had success right away. And that just made me more hungry to get success junior and senior year. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but that's probably the thing I'll most remember.
Spencer, how about you?
Of course, for me, it would also be going to the state tournament as a sophomore. And probably my first home game as a sophomore, when I think I had 8 points, and right at the end of the half, I hit a NBA 3 buzzer beater. And
cool.
That was just a great feeling as a sophomore to be able to do that. So,
once again, we're talking here with Marcus Potter and Spencer Grafing, two Trojan boys basketball players wrapping up their careers again. All conference honors for both these guys this year. And, well, guys, I'll wrap up here with just a couple quick questions. Marcus Potter, if you had one more meal to have, what's the go-to food for Marcus Potter? That's a tough one, isn't it?
I would have to go with a plate of my mom's spaghetti.
Oh, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. Spence, how about you?
I would have to go with a plate of my mom's lasagna, probably.
Now, you guys are always on the basketball court. What are, Spencer, let's start with you. What are some of your, do you have an interest outside of sports? What are some of the things you like to do?
I don't know. My life kind of revolves around sports, to be honest. I try to change it up with what I'm doing, like golfing or frisbee golf or anything like that. I'm just pretty much 100% into sports.
Marcus, how about you?
I like the video game a lot.
Okay.
And
what's
I
your
guess
favorite game?
right now NBA 2K14.
Is it good?
It is good. The Xbox, it would be a good investment. The Xbox One gets a little spendy, but it has good graphics.
So you got an Xbox One, huh?
I do not. My friend has.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was gonna say, because I have a PlayStation 3, so I'm kind of hesitant to go to the next level. You know, it's like I don't know if my fiance will like me spending all that money, so it's like I better just keep it safe. But once again, Marcus Potter and Spencer Grafing joining us here in studio, guys. Any last words? Anything you want to say to Trojan Nation? Any last words today?
I would just like to say thank you to all the fans and everyone that supported our team throughout the years, and to all the parents too, especially in my grade, that helped support us like the whole time we were traveling.
Spencer?
Yeah, we definitely had a lot of support on the way to playing varsity, and I don't think we could have got that far without our parents' support and just the town's support also. Absolutely.
Gentlemen, we really appreciate the time today. It's been an absolute blast getting to know you guys throughout the years. Got a lot to look back on and be proud of, so congratulations, and we'll look forward to catching up in the future.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Well, more in Tri-State Sports Talk after this on AM 730 KWOA. Boom! You guys are good.